Hey guys, check it out. I am in this new space and I am so far away from the camera. I feel weird. This feels kind of very different. I think this plant would look better a little to the whatever direction that is. Yeah, so let's get started. I'm excited to be back. I'm one day later on recording because yesterday I had a client over, so that was awesome. And thank you so much to that client. And let's get started. So, okay, first one we are going to get after is Wild Unknown Tarot, like normal. We're gonna talk about the energy of the week. So for those who are watching, guided to watch, whether it's when I posted it or at a later date, these messages are meant to ring true for extended periods of time. So hopefully the knowledge and the wisdom is good. If you resonate with it, if you connect with it, if it sounds like, I say sound, but I want to say your heart, if it hits something in your heart, if your heart has an ear and it's like, it sounds good, then cool. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for showing up. I'm excited to be here. So I'm going to turn my heater off. Woogie woogie. Okay. So picked this card. That's another thing. It's like I got to figure out how to be able to make it so you guys are able to see the card. So I'll figure out in editing another time how to get this closer to your guys' eyeballs. So, and thank you for my new subscribers. Thank you for my old subscribers. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Three of Swords. So when I picked this card out of the deck, honestly, I was like, oh, freaking A, that looks scary. I've actually never drawn this card out of this specific deck, but when I get my tarot read, this card comes out all the time. This is like the bane of my relationships, honestly. And so if I have any wisdom to give on this, I'm appreciative that I've been able to gain my own experiences through the Three of Swords. It literally comes out like a few times every year since I was for 4 years. So something that I am very familiar with, if none the least. Okay, so first off, a little bit about the sword energy. The swords are the suit of action and intellect, ruled by the element of air. These dynamic cards address change, conflict, and power. They point to constructive and destructive tendencies within us all. A reading dominated by swords indicates a situation of turmoil and distress. And then jumping right into the Three of Swords, talks about betrayal, heartbreak, and turmoil. So if you were being faced with any one of those, listen up, because we have got some messages for you today. So betrayal, heartbreak, and turmoil. Three of Swords, a dark and complex card. The Three of Swords is rarely a welcome sight. See what I'm saying? Its wrath may come in the form of lies, betrayal, cheating, or heartbreak. There will be emotional entanglement and confusion. Do not try to make any decisions while in this state. Wait for your heart and your spirit to mend. So if you are going through some heartbreak right now, some really stressful times, some of maybe the darkest times of your life, this is telling you to not jump on making any major decisions in your life. Not only, if you watch this at the appropriate time, are we in Mercury retrograde, which the energy of the stars are saying it's not a great time to jump into anything new. We're almost done. I think the end of this week we should be done, and we've been in Mercury retrograde, I think, for at least a month, if not a couple months now. So now is not the best time to make any brash decisions, to make any conclusions, final conclusions about a person, place, thing, the nouns. So if you find yourself wanting to just end something, just get it over with, just be over, be very cautious, because this energy of just, please just like make it end, make it stop, I can't handle this, and I'm willing to do anything to get out of the situation. Make sure you're not making deals with that type of energy, because anything you do under that pretense, under the energy of just stress, anger, anxiety, fear, doubt, any quick decisions that you make out of that energy is going to come back around and kick you in the tuchus later on. And so this is telling you, give yourself some time first to heal, to sit down, be with yourself in these moments of whatever it is negative that you're going through. Honestly, the biggest thing you can do for yourself is give yourself time to heal, to mend these wounds, to sew up this broken heart. Just give yourself time, okay? You've got time, okay? If you're rushing yourself to get out of the situation just because you can't handle the pain, or you think you can't handle the pain, because you can always handle the pain if something is in your life, it's something you can handle. And I already start to feel like if I were to say this statement, people arguing with me, and it's like, well, what about the people who weren't able to handle the situation? It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate about the people who have committed suicide because they couldn't connect with their pain and release their pain. And I don't want to come out with this big statement about suicide or anything. But I do want to say I wish there had been somebody there for them who could have stuck with them in their dark moments. I fear that a lot of these people who we see in the public eye who committed suicide always had this like happy face, or it was, to a lot of people, it was a surprise that it happened. And I just feel like a lot of people out there are bearing a lot of weight without, at the same time, feeling like they can't burden other people with their problems and their fears and their worries and their anxieties. And I just wish I could have been there, or somebody could have been there to reach out a hand and say, I'm here to just listen, because we're not here to take care of other people's problems. We're not here to fix it for them, but we are here to stand beside them if we're able. So again, it's like it can be a vicious circle where you don't want to get trapped and stuck in the why do I want to say regimen? Because it is like a pattern. Taking care of people can end up being a distraction for something that you don't want to deal with and look at within your own self. And so I want to just like put out there that it's like, make sure you can't help another person without making sure you've helped yourself first. So making sure yourself is in a good, grounded, healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy space before you go bending over backwards for every other person. We talked about this a little bit last week, where, gosh, and now it's totally gone. So I just know that we touched on it last week. Listen to last week's episode about I'm burning. I think that was the name of the title. I'm burning. that's part of what I want to do in this community. Is I want to help first myself, is what I've been working on for so many years, and it'll never stop. And mental health is important. Working on the circle around you, the circle around me, helping them, and that will just like quantify out into the universe. And so if what I wanted to say on, if there's a problem in your life, trust that you have the capacity, the capability to handle it. But don't handle it by ignoring it. Don't handle it by pushing it down. Don't distract yourself with anything, everything. We distract ourselves constantly, which is like, oh, I'm going to think about another thing right now. One distraction I've realized that is very prominent in my mind is anger. I want to be angry. I want to be fixated on my anger towards something else, towards a problem, a person, place, or thing, right? A noun. My problem towards a noun, my anger towards a noun. But what I'm realizing, that I'm just distracting myself from the actual process of what I should be doing, which is sitting down, stopping, breathing, and teaching my own body how to process its pain. So rather than going and projecting, right? We're projecting anger on somebody else, even if they did something that legitimately could make a person, agreeably by anyone, angry. Like, yeah, that's dumb. You should be angry. It's like, even instances like that, where we're projecting our anger onto somebody else, is the conclusion is that there is anger within yourself, or whatever it is that you're projecting onto another person. You don't even deserve, I don't even deserve to project that idea onto another person unless I'm willing to. Then, oh yes, okay, realize that you have that within yourself. That's just the law of the universe. That's just the way it works. And I know this not by just regurgitating this information onto you. I tell this to you from a space of experiencing it myself over and over and over and over again for years, since I was told this and was like, okay, now I'm gonna go test this on my world, on my environment, on my people, places, and things. Why do I love nouns? I do love nouns. I do love people, places, and things, man. So I tested this. And I can tell you that if you want to break free from the frustration and the constraints that you feel in your life, one of the beautiful little Reese's Pieces Skittles, this is a mixed candy, whatever this trail of you can follow to your own inner workings to right some of the wrong pieces in the wrong places. Oh, this needs to go there, and this needs to go there. The trail that you follow is watching your own behavior with other people, watching what you get angry about, watching what you get hurt about, and reflecting on that. And that's why I say, like, you don't deserve to projectile your crap onto other people unless you then are willing to come back and take a look at your own self and sit with your own discomfort and learning to manage your own emotions by getting a pen and a paper and writing about it, or watching videos on how to manage your emotions, or going and talking to somebody, reading a book, a meditation. These are all ways that you can help unbind yourself, cut your own chains. So if you're having pain and you're seeing things outside of yourself, people at work that you don't like, boyfriends and girlfriends that you're frustrated with, depression, anxiety, anger, these are all things that you have the power to overcome. And overcome isn't my word, so what word do I want to use instead? You have the power to face head on, deal with head on, and change completely. And also let yourself be revolutionized from the inside out. God, that feels amazing. That let yourself be changed so that your outside environment will start to reflect the change, and that's when you know. So go do the same thing that I did. Go play around with these ideas and these theories that we talk about each week, and play around with the ideas and within yourself, right? And then watch to see over just that day. It'll sometimes takes weeks, months, years. Your life will continually revolutionize itself into, now what word do I want to use that's true to me, into a space of knowing yourself, seeing yourself, because we have so many layers. I feel like most of us, I'll speak for me and everyone I've ever met, have these layers of delusion around us. And it's not necessarily that we want to start judging ourselves for being under a spell. We have been trained to be under a spell. And not that we want to blame somebody else for putting a spell on us, but we want to realize that we are, because that's what helps break the spell. And I wish there was a song about breaking the spell, because I want to bust out in a song right now. But I don't know any. Do you know one? Sing to me, baby. Alright. So 3 of Swords. Remember that if you're even in that moment. So let's say you're just feeling stress and anxiety in that moment. Don't make brash decisions and conclusions about people, places, or things while you're in that energy. And if that energy is kind of overwhelming your life, especially, it's been a heavy burden over multiple days, maybe even weeks, maybe months, maybe more. Don't make brash decisions and conclusions about people. And maybe that's why you're stuck in this 3 of Hearts, 3 of Swords energy, is because you've made these conclusions. You've made these conclusions, these truths that you've believed, that you've put out into your, what word do I want to use that's true to me? These conclusions that you've put out about people that now become your law. There's a possibility that if this keeps coming around, is because you've got to unstick some of these conclusions that you've made in order to move forward. It's honestly like we have nailed ourselves to the fucking ground, and we can't move forward, and we're getting angry at these people, and we're angry at these people. It's because this one is but that's a fucking nail we put there ourselves with a hammer, and we need to unstick these conclusions and fall back into a state of being more open-minded and willing to learn about anything that comes, willing to accept that there is more than just our truth, more than just our story. And so I love you. If you want some help on working through something specific or something general, please contact me. I would love to have this conversation in person or on the phone or through email. Get at me. Okay, so anyway, not making decisions while we're in a bad headspace. It just seems natural, right? So if you want to make a decision while you are in a mental blurry space, focus on the breath. Energy moves and flows. Okay, next up we got the Animal Spirit, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Guidebook. And the message we got was Earth Energy Spider. Totally kidding, but at the same time. Did you get a good view? Okay, so Spider, creator of prosperity through life's work and Dharma. And I looked up Dharma so that I could explain it to you. Okay, I believe I think Buddhism, Hinduism, and one other branch, and it might have been like the overarching branch of those two, if there is one. basically what Dharma explanation, according to Google, is it's the way of life. It's the rules of life. It's the way that life reacts, consequences, interactions, a plan, a pattern. Look it up yourself if you didn't like that explanation. But anyway, creator of prosperity through life's work, through life's dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it. Both financially and spiritually, it is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us creativity is everywhere. So be process-oriented rather than results-oriented. And that makes even more sense to me now. Is it saying it never tires? And the reason that the spider in this scenario never tires, or the reason, or the way, the dharma that you can put into action and never tire is maybe, this is a thought, this is a theory, is that we are results oriented. So, I mean, it's great to have goals, but when we're working and the constant, I guess, thing we're telling ourselves is that we want this thing, we want this way, we want this end result, we want this, we're doing this for this. This alone feels like it's something that would drain your energy. So rather than being so concentrated on the end result, I'm doing this to get this, it's saying rather than do that, find something that you enjoy the process of doing. And to me, I'm like, I didn't even mean to do this. But this is the reciprocal energy. This is, I'm putting energy in and I'm feeling fulfilled by it. I'm putting energy into something and I'm feeling fulfilled by it. And this, I can't remember the common word for the figure 8 symbol, forever or whatever. Doing that is going to help us not tire as easily. And so, let me finish this. And soon your work becomes like the weaving. I feel like such a librarian right now. Get my glasses. Oh shit, get my glasses. Okay, so I got 2 pair. And yes, I've bought multiple pair of glasses that don't have prescriptions on them, if you were asking. We've got these super ultra nerd ones. So if these are good for like the librarian that reads to all the kids. Or we've got option number 2. Okay, I'm digging these. All right, so rather than results oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry. Abundance follows. So if we are looking for the results, it's so funny because there's so many things in life that seem counterintuitive, and I wish I could remember the other word for counterintuitive right now. Paradoxical, thank you. There's so many things in life that are paradoxical because you think, okay, well, if I want to get something done, then I'm going to like imagine me winning the thing and having the thing, and I'm going to imagine it, so I'm going to work for it, But what this is suggesting, that may be tiresome, and that may be, ooh, that's interesting. Something that I know that I do personally is because I have been a lot more goal-oriented and result-oriented. Because I have been a lot more results-oriented, I've rushed the process. And that's really kind of like, what's the word I want to use? Stolen from the end result, sadly enough. So for me, it comes into any project that I involve myself in. I've been so like, let's get to the end result, let's get to the goal. And then I got there and I'm like, wait, And it's all about the journey, and we hear this, right? And I've fast forwarded through the good parts, and then I look back and go, man, life is fleeting. I'll never get those moments back. I'll never be able to hang out with those people again. For some instances, per people, places, for some nouns, you guys will know what I'm talking about. If you watch this video and a year from now, I'm just going to say nouns, and those people who were there for me in the beginning and with me in the beginning, you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? And then comment below and you'll get like a free t-shirt, and I'll have like some bomb ass t-shirt or beanie or something, okay? Give me like a year or two before I get merch going and rolling. But anyway, I've realized that I've rushed the process because I was so fixated on having the end result be here, be now. And looking back on that, I've realized that I've just literally stolen my own I want to use my own word. Stolen my own priceless experiences, time. Because even in the moments, I'm like, all right, let's get to the end goal, let's get to the end goal, let's get to the end goal. And I mean, you know, I'm missing the cake that's in front of me. I'm going to work on that, okay? Right? Boss? All right, so. Let's finish this off, shall we? Okay, so when in balance, appreciative, enthusiastic, and prosperous. Do you feel appreciative? Do you feel enthusiastic? And are you being prosperous? Do you feel prosperous? Then you're probably in balance, okay? When you're out of balance, you feel discouraged, tired, and forlorn. I had to look up what forlorn means because I didn't know. Forlorn means pitifully sad, abandoned, and sad. Lots of sadness. But pitifully, right? Pitifully sad, okay? Take pity on my poor soul, sad. To bring into balance, playful creativity. So, rather than worrying about something being an end result for a client, or this isn't helping me get ahead in any blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's what playful creativity is, okay? So rather than doing something for the sake of getting something out of it, do something to get the sake out of just having fun, being playful. That's your homework for the week, okay? I'm not done, but I'm giving you a kiss, okay? All right, we're probably already at like 30 minutes. Hey. I'm going to give like rewards to the people who watch the whole thing, all the craziness. If you watch till the end of the show, I'll send you a sticker when I get them. Okay. Number 25, Elephant Spirit, and we're reading the Spirit Animal Oracle, okay? Learn from the past. Although we often wish we could leave the past behind, Elephant Spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions that have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect for the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant Spirit appears when the message that we are to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it. All of us are memory-based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we are going. The stories of events you experienced, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity, for you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow. Protection message. Are you feeling uncomfortable with a tradition, custom, or familiar behavior that no longer fits who you are? Take that one and think about it multiple times. This is one that honestly will serve you the rest of your life, is to continue to ask yourself questions that help you take a look at your life and drop the things that are dragging you to the mud. So are you feeling uncomfortable with a tradition, custom, or familiar behavior that no longer fits you? And along with that, are you feeling uncomfortable? Pay attention, pay close attention to the way you feel, because your feelings are your compass. And now I want to break into Pocahontas, if I can think of one. Little town, it's a quiet village, every day like the one before. Nope, that's Belle. That's Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I need Pocahontas. There's Colors of the Wind. There's that otter one where they're jumping up and down the river. But which one is the guidance, the compass one? She's with like got the wind going around her and like has a spirit, has a name. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue moon? Or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins? Does he grin? You need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. I'm pretty sure that's still not the one about the compass. Does she sing one about the compass? Anyway, what I was saying is paying attention to your feelings and your emotions that come up. This is another thing that will help you cut the chains, unbind yourself, and change your outward environment. So if you're complaining about your outward environment, something's not going wrong, right? Or you're complaining about something you feel inside, depression, anxiety, stress, that kind of thing. Pay attention to your feelings. They're not meant to be ignored. They're meant to be understood. They're meant to be coached and parented into like being the type of parent you always wish you had, or being the type of parent you hope to be, being that towards yourself rather than the inner critic who constantly destroys, belittles, downgrades yourself. Pay attention to your feelings. It will open. Reading Rainbow. Wow, flashbacks. Freaking A. Yeah. Okay, so do you wish the past could be erased so it could no longer cause you a moment's pain? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to write a different story and alter the traditions in ways that acknowledge that we all evolve, for transformation is in our nature. So by letting yourself rewrite your story, rather than being stuck in the same generational karma, which is also passed down through DNA, which you can also understand by understanding that a parent just does the best they can, right? And they raise their child to be this. And this child is raised with these beliefs and ideas about that is the way life is. You don't question life. Yes, you do. You do question life. If you want to evolve, then you need to question life, and you need to question anything that doesn't stick well with you. If you pay close attention and you start to become more, train yourself to become more self-aware, then you can break those traditions of things that just are keeping us in the dark ages. Because we've got, anyway, places to go, people to see, things to break out of. Different story and alter the traditions in ways that alter. Okay. Elephant Spirit calls you to not be selective in your memory, because ignoring the good or the bad will prevent you from growing your wisdom and strength. Build on the best of the past, learn from the worst, and walk into the future with dignity, accompanied by Elephant Spirit, who remembers the truth and honors your strength and wisdom. I've almost talked enough. Almost. One last card. It is our guiding, affirmation words we can use to help ourselves move through this week's challenges, or embrace the grace that is all around us. Okay, so again, this one is from the Wild Offering Oracle. The Wild Offering Oracle. And it says, ambition. May I offer all of my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond the mind's imagining. Please use me for the highest good. And what I want to say about that is a couple things. Let's change around the lingo a little bit so that it's a little more religion neutral or belief system neutral. So, may I offer all my deepest longings to love itself. Okay, so who out there doesn't believe in love at all? Never existed, never has, never will? Nobody? Okay, so then love's fine. Let's talk about love. May I offer all my deepest longings to love? Because love is, I want to say, the greatest, one of the greatest energies that is available to us, that is intuitive and intelligent. It's not just a fixed, flat, two-dimensional idea, if that even makes sense. It's a living, breathing, energetic, responsive, like I said, intelligent thing. You know, that thing? So learning to communicate with that, or manifesting using words, to asking help from love. I need love to help me is beautiful. By somewhat surrendering, this is what this card is saying, I'm surrendering my deepest longings to love, because love knows me, and love can pick out what parts of it are gonna just be toxic and drag me down. So please, I surrender all my deepest longings to love itself, and I invite a plan beyond my imagination. Please use me for something that's just so good, just my highest good. Anyway, anything like that, play around with that, make it your own, as well as anything I say in here, make it your own. Play around with the ideas, see how they fit in your life, see how they don't fit in your life, and then change them and then tweak them. I'm not here to say that what I say is law. I'm here to say, I love you, and thank you so much for showing up, and you're the frickin' best, and have a great week, and I will stop talking now. Mwah.